Hi conscious Cancer, welcome to my channel on Oracle and Spirituality. Here is your reading for the weeks ahead. I'm a little bit late on my readings because I try to follow my flow, my personal rhythm, so I didn't have the proper energy to do so earlier. But here we go. And also I'm coming today with different reading, type of reading, because normally I use the Belline Oracle. If you're new to my channel, you may not know that, but if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm using this Oracle deck. And now, from now on, I'm gonna start include the ancient Egyptians tarot. I'll pull two cards of this deck to represent the personified energies, the personified characters in my stories. Make sure you check out the description below and that you read it through, because if you don't, you may not understand everything I'm saying in my readings. You may get lost, especially when I start to talk about shadow energies and stuff like that. So make sure you read it through. Also, if this video resonates with you, then it's for you. If it doesn't, it means it's not. The fact that you check within, it helps you get in touch with your inner guidance and your intuition, and therefore to become your own authority and to take your power back. So it's a good thing whenever you watch something or read something on YouTube, Google, or even someone talking to you in the real life, to be able to check within whether it's resonating with you. For those who don't know me, my name is Gail. I am a life guide and a spiritual teacher, and I help meaning seekers navigate a more conscious life toward greater happiness. If you want to stay tuned for the evolution of your energies, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell button for the notifications. And now we're going to start. My intro was a little bit longer than usually because I had some news to tell you. So, all right. Cancer, you are embodying the Justice card. We've got in your shadow energy the Hierophant. Then the Table, Support, Negotiations, and those two cards came up together, so the Peace and the Happiness card. What I have to say is that those, not this one came up normal, like in the right position. But those four cards came up reversed. And it's the second time it's happening in this series. Gemini had all their Belline Oracle cards reversed. For you, it's almost all of them except the Table. And what it gave me, the feeling it gave me is a feeling of upset and lack of understanding. So I'm gonna put this energy into the reading because I think that's what it means. Your reading is quite positive, but because so many cards showed up reversed, I have to add the upset thing and the misunderstanding. into the equation. All right, so you are embodying the Justice card in regard to a situation at the moment where you are, everybody on the table, around the table, trying to negotiate, collaborate, find solutions, and you're having discussions. Everybody is wanting to give their 2 cents, and you're trying to negotiate. So those two energies are the characters around the table. And this is you, as I said, and this is your shadow energy. So it's someone else, some other people, some external structures, some external organization, which is not you, but it's still part of you. If you read the description of this video, you can understand what I mean. So it's part of you, but you don't see it or you don't recognize it as being part of yourself. And probably in this reading, you actually reject it because you, first of all, you don't even understand the perspective of those individuals or this particular person. And otherwise, if it's not that you're not understanding their perspective, you just don't like that. And you think you're not like that. So what's your perspective? Your perspective is, so both, it's about justice. And what I have to add first that this is not a fun party type situation where you're all around the table having fun, dinner and chatting, friendly chatting with your friends and family and things like that. It's not about enjoyment. It's very serious in this reading. It doesn't mean that it's bad. In fact, you are trying to collaborate, so it's a good thing. Everyone is very much willing to find an agreement or to discuss. Though it's very serious, nobody's joking here. Nobody's laughing here. It's very serious. And it's serious because it's about justice. It's about what justice means, what justice is. It's all about, a situation where you are wanting justice, you're wanting justice to be done. I don't know what happened to you, who did what to you, but you definitely feel like you are taking something, or that some injustice was made to you, and therefore you're very firm and strong in that position, is that you definitely want justice to be made and reparation to occur for whatever thing happened. And you're not wanting to let go. You are very persistent in your view, the way you see things. For you, someone did something wrong and it has to be repaired, or at least you want excuses, or someone to apologize to you or something like that. And this is the justice, some human justice. It's not the soul justice or divine justice. It is something very much physical. So I think it's about your physical world. I think something happened in the physical world. It's not just in your mind or in your soul. And the person you have in front of you in this situation is the Hierophant, who is talking about justice too, but more like a religious justice, you know. It's not spiritual or divine justice, it's more religious justice. Justice that is linked to an organization, a hierarchy, something that is very well organized. It's probably an organization, or if it's not an organization, it's someone who has some sort of rigid mentality and who works on principles. For them, it doesn't matter whether you feel how you feel about it. For them, justice is some sort of universal thing. There are principles, and if those principles are broken, then there is some injustice here. But it's just about principles and concepts and theories. It's not so much personal. It's very impersonal. While for you, justice is what you sense is just or not for you. It's more visceral. It's more subjective and more personal. No one will have the same justice, the same sense of justice. For you, something may not be just, but for someone else it may be. So it's very personal for you. It's visceral. You know it's not right for you. But in front of you, this other person or this organization or this energy is built on principles. What's been edited or built in the past and what's been defined in the past of what justice is. It's more of a concept that they would then extend to everyone. Like if something is just, it's just for everyone. While in fact, there is a subjective component to the aspect of justice. And as you can tell here, it's a big organization, or it's a person who has a lot of followers, or it's very well organized. So that's why if you think about religion and the religious organizations, you can tell there is a leader, and then there are initiates or followers, you know, and if it's... So it's just a symbol, but these can be transferred to anything in your life. It's an archetype, so you can see where it fits your life, where there is someone that has kind of a strong leadership with people agreeing with them, and so there is more, they have more weight, and it's very principled, and it's a colder justice. It's impersonal. It's wanting itself. It's seeing itself as universal, while it's not necessarily universal, but it may be imposing their way of seeing things. It's very rigid, very slow, very heavy. It's very much structured and organized. This person may be very organized and rigid. And if you know anything about the Enneagram, this would be the Enneagram 1, while this one would be the Enneagram 8, because both have a very strong sense of justice, but it's different. This one has, the 8 has a very personal sense of justice, while this one is very impersonal and very principled. And that's the two energies that are relating to, like, that are not relating to each other, but that are interacting with each other around this table I was talking about. And at first, it seems to be a nice collaboration that everyone is willing to do their best and to contribute at their best. But then we start to enter the Belline Oracle cards that showed up reversed. And the first that showed up reversed was the support card. So in that position, you know, you may start to sense that you and this other energy, this other person or this group, you aren't very much aligned, and this negotiation or this discussion, conversation is starting to be salty, because this card to me, it appears to me exactly like the Hierophant. To me, those two cards, they are talking about the same person or the same group. They are the same person. So, because this one showed up in your shadow, and this one showed up reversed, to me it means exactly the same thing. And the one thing I have to say also that I didn't talk about with the shadow energy is that it is within you. So even though you may see it as external to you, you may interact with this energy and you think you're not like that you are like that, but not, you are like this, but not like that. In fact, you are. This is still part of you. There is still some aspect of you that is perceiving things this way. And that's the whole work with shadow work, is that you need to reintegrate this aspect. And by that, I mean you need to see that it is inside of you, that you also have that in you, and to find a way to love it, to see in how it is beneficial. It may be beneficial, because the way you don't love it is because you see it as disturbing or harming or disempowering, or you don't see in how it is benefiting you, your life, and other people. But if you start to see in how it's benefiting you and other people, you will start to like it and then reintegrate it. And that's part of what you need to do in order to have this card upright instead of reversed. Because at first it shows up reversed, which means that you start to sense that, oh, you're not really aligned with this person, you don't understand them. And also what I said at first is that there is some upset, right? I told you about that. Some upset and some misunderstanding, not comprehending what's happening. So that's exactly what's happening here. You're getting upset at this person. You don't understand what's happening. But what's happening is just that you don't have the same way of seeing justice. You have a totally different vision of what justice is and means. And because of that, of course, you don't comprehend each other. You don't understand each other. And so that's why at first it shows up reverse. And you may start to doubt their ability to support you. Because you were looking in them for support. And then at first it's not happening. But just because you're watching this reading here with me, it may just turn this card upright. Because now you're understanding why this is happening, what the dynamic is. And so the upset and the misunderstanding of the reversal is moved. And now you can understand, and the upset is gone. But at first, yeah, it would be some upset and misunderstanding, which will evolve to the negotiations card, which is very much about litigations, especially if it's the upside down. And so instead of just negotiating calmly, pleasantly, like in the table card, you may start to argue. It may start to be a verbal battle with rhetoric battle. And so in order to put it upright, you have to, same as I said before, you have to comprehend what's happening in the dynamic between those two ways of seeing what justice is, and then boom, then it becomes negotiations. It goes back to collaboration, and it becomes more of a useful card where everybody explains the way they are seeing justice, the way they are seeing things, and they can understand each other. Everybody's vocal, but in a good way, speaking up. So that's how the energy is going to evolve within those weeks. And what the oracle is saying is, so it showed up reversed, it's advising you, so the peace and the happiness card, but reversed. So to me, again, it's telling me, well, since you're not understanding, since you're having two ways of seeing things that are totally different and maybe incompatible, then Cancer, you may actually better give up on the fight, and giving up would bring peace to the conflict. And okay, giving up your requirements or expectations or your demands, it's kind of giving up on your satisfaction, what you wanted, your values. But in fact, what you may want more than everything is peace, maybe not those things. And in fact, by giving up the fight, you may end up having something even more wanted, more deeper, simpler but deeper, more authentic, something that fulfills your deepest values than what you were initially asking to be repaired. And yeah, that's how it then goes upright from reverse to the proper way. By giving up what you thought your demands, what you thought was your value, you know, that's why you're so firm and strict and like not wanting to give up anything because you want justice. But by giving up the fight, you actually get something deeper, some deeper satisfaction. So that's what I have got for you today, Cancer. So share with another Cancer who may benefit this reading. Like, subscribe, it always feels good to me. And I'll see you soon or right now in another of my videos. You can check your sun, moon and rising signs. They will give you a more complete picture of your life. And have a beautiful day, Cancer. Bye.